So we got Dricus Du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya. Now this is a fight that has been building for quite a long time. Let's take a look at this matchup. What I like about Dricus Du Plessis is he has this insane ability to adapt to every opponent that he fights. He finds the perfect game plan to go up against his opponent and make them look bad. And when we look at Israel Adesanya, a lot of people argue, Israel Adesanya, he's a great technician, he's a great striker, he's got great fight IQ. But if you think about the fights of Israel Adesanya, he kind of just does what he's good at. And then as soon as he went up against someone where he couldn't do that, he wasn't able to adapt. So Sean Strickland put the volume on him, put the pressure on him, kept that lead leg high, and essentially gave us the core game plan or approach to be able to beat Israel Adesanya. So Adesanya, of course, is going to try and fix those holes. But when you look at the style of Israel Adesanya, it's a very simple but effective game plan. He uses his jab, he uses his low kick, and if you try and pressure him, he throws swinging wide left hooks. Now, against Robert Whittaker, that worked. But against Sean Strickland, he got countered for it. Is Israel Adesanya going to be able to fix the glaring boxing pressure hole in his game plan? I mean, being honest about Israel Adesanya, he just doesn't have the power to necessarily keep you off him. And I think Dricus Du Plessis is going to come into this fight and he's going to look like Sean Strickland 2.0. He's throwing volume, he's throwing straight shots, and he's going to crowd Adesanya and mix in the takedowns with the striking. It's a pretty clear-cut game plan. And I just think that Dricus Du Plessis is coming into this fight with so much confidence. The whole time Israel Adesanya was champion, Dricus Du Plessis was preparing for him and watching his style, just like the whole division was. Now, I think potentially we could see a bit of a drop-off in Israel Adesanya's performance. We don't know how he's going to look after putting on the extra weight. Yes, he could have more power, but I don't think it's going to be the case. I think Dricus Du Plessis is definitely going to take some damage coming into this fight. He's going to get hit by Israel Adesanya, but where Adesanya does his best work in the open, I think is going to be nullified by Dricus Du Plessis pressuring him with that giant head. He's got such a good chin. Like, Dricus Du Plessis can take a shot like no one else. And I think he's going to come in with such a good game plan of mixing up the takedowns, mixing up the striking, putting straight volume shots on Israel Adesanya, corralling him into the cage, going for those takedowns. I think I do like Adesanya as a fighter. I think he was one of those fighters I saw coming up. He was so good, so clean, so technical. And Dricus Du Plessis is almost on the other end of the spectrum where his shots are a bit loopy, they're a bit wild. He doesn't look like he knows what he's doing, but somehow he always wins. I think when we're looking at Israel Adesanya as well, his performances have been good, but not great. Against Yoel Romero, for example, spent 5 rounds kicking his leg at a distance and got whopped by a huge overhand in the first round. Didn't look great. Kelvin Gastelum, who had no business being at middleweight, basically had a real tough fight with Israel Adesanya, where Israel Adesanya got hurt by Kelvin Gastelum. I mean, Dricus Du Plessis, we know he has power. The way he dropped her and finished Whittaker was a thing of beauty. He knows how to put the pressure on you. And if you look at the performances of Dricus and Adesanya against Strickland, it just kind of shows you that fight IQ of Dricus. I just think Dricus is on another level in terms of his MMA striking and grappling compared to Adesanya. So if I have to pick in this fight, I'm going to go with Dricus Du Plessis and I'm going to go with a 4th round submission. I think the striking's too much, the pressure's too much, the takedowns will get defended, but then after Adesanya just starts like losing the will to fight like he did in that Strickland fight, I think round 4, it's going to take him down, get into a dominant position, land some strikes. I think Izzy gives up the arm triangle and we're going to see Dricus Du Plessis winning by submission.